Remember how Inception blew your mind? You were like, wow, dude, that's insane. Oh man, look at that, the dream's collapsing. Truck stick? Yeah, Tenet is not that. Tenet is more of, what? What is happening? Am I supposed to feel tension or be in shock? When did Twilight get in this movie? Why isn't Leonardo DiCaprio here to explain this to me? This movie is about time travel. Time travel sucks. It's extremely hard to do well because the plot holes time travel creates, and everyone has their own take on it. Back to the Future, Looper, Avengers Endgame, Terminator, Deadpool 2, and don't forget about 2016's masterpiece, Assassin's Creed. All have their own takes on time travel. The concept of time travel is complex and convoluted. It requires writing that is concise and clear. Even if your time travel concept is flawed, as long as it makes sense throughout the duration of the movie, that's fine. Critics can pull apart your movie later, and if we're entertained throughout, then success. But Tenet, it's a confusing mess. Don't get me wrong, at no point in time am I bored throughout this movie, but I am pretty confused. Half of the confusion stems from the terrible audio mix, which is an absolute tragedy. The music in this movie is great. You get those Inception vibes even though Hans Zimmer didn't compose. You feel the thriller and the suspense. It fits the theme of this trippy time heist insanely well.
What do you call it? A time heist?
But here's the problem. The music and the sound effects, they're just too damn loud. Christopher Nolan was really making this movie like, yeah guys, it's a time heist, but any scene with important dialogue, we just blast the THX sound at full volume. I missed so much dialogue at the beginning due to the poor audio mix. I immediately read the Wikipedia after seeing this movie to make sure I understood what I watched. If, and this is a big if, you start to understand what's going on in the movie, you'll start to enjoy it. Let me try to summarize this movie with minimal spoilers. The protagonist, John David Washington, is a CIA agent on a mission in Ukraine. He's captured and tortured. He ends up taking a cyanide pill instead of snitching on his team. He wakes up to find the pill was a test to recruit him for a secret organization named Tenet. Roll credits. They gave him vague information and they play the pronoun game, but basically, hey bro, World War III is about to go down. You gotta stop it. The scientist who probably should have been way more involved in this movie explains our time travel concept of inverted entropy. Short version, things people are inverted or in reverse in real time because their reality is inversion. Doesn't make sense? Not to me either. They're able to do this by walking through machines that allow you to go through the inversion part of the world, but you won't know that until about 3/4 of the way of the movie, so buckle up. The protagonist, which is what they literally call him, he doesn't have any other name, the protagonist's real mission is to figure out what the mission is exactly and save the world. With the help of soon-to-be Batman, the convoluted plot gets even more entangled as the protagonist needs to figure out who sold some inverted bullets. The bullets lead to a Russian oligarch named Sador, who just wants to see the world burn because he's dying. Also, he abuses his wife, but don't worry about that subplot because you'll be too busy being confused about everything else. Ultimately, everything becomes about Sador, who has the plan to invert the entire world the moment he dies using a device and an algorithm that's not explained either. You think the passive device in Inception was bad? The device in this movie ends up being a staff of chrome Legos. The movie is insanely interesting. You want to know what's going on. You pick up on pieces of the time travel aspect. It's not a movie you watch once. You'll likely have a better experience on your second or third run through. But does this movie deserve it? This movie isn't bad, but it isn't insanely good either. I can't highly recommend this like I did for Inception, but this movie is not Inception, it's Tenet, a time-traveling heist that explores time forward, but with inverted objects, and again through the opposite perspective. Tenet is a personification of a palindrome brought to life. I'd say it's worth a watch if you're willing to watch it twice. 7 out of 10. Entertaining enough to get you back in the movie theater. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for joining me on Black Man's Log.